There are 1 participants on the call.
Before we get started, I'd like to go around the room and see if there's anyone that need a prayer. Yes. Okay. Our condolences, prayers are with you, him and the family. Anyone else?
I got one. My wife's family and the loss of her brother last week, and unexpected. And my son broke his elbow last week, and they reconstructed it yesterday, and he's in recovery and in a lot of pain. So keep him in your prayers as well.
Okay. Please express our love and condolences to the wife and your son. Anyone else?
Commissioner, Mr. Chairman, I want us to continue to pray for Hannah Evans, the daughter of Representative Michael Evans. She's been moved to Atlanta, as I mentioned last time. She is making progress. The prayers are working, so let's keep it up.
Okay. With that, we would like to call you, Commissioner Busby, for opening prayer.
Amy, what's protocol? Should I pray from here or come to the podium? Okay. I feel like I need to stand to do that, so y'all bear with me. Y'all please pray with me. Father, we love you, and we're so thankful that you love us too, and that you showed us how much you loved us by sending your son to save us and by giving us the opportunity to spend eternity with you. Thank you for all that you've blessed us with in this life. Forgive us when we failed you in both what we do and the things that we've left undone. May our work here today find favor with you and be guided by you. I ask your blessings continued on Hannah and the family of Mark Taylor, Commissioner Caldwell's brother-in-law's family and his son. Father, would you just, as the great healer, place your hands on them, and we ask for complete healing. Father, may we always seek your guidance in all we do and be ever mindful to give you the glory. In the precious name of Jesus, we ask these things. Amen.
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 Commissioner Brothers, we truly welcome you. Pray well and you sing.
I got a litany list of things I do that most of which are irrelevant. But
Come to your church one time.
come on.
Okay. Let's recognize any guests that we have. Any guests?
I do. I got someone I'd like to introduce to everyone. I have established constituent liaisons, three in the district. Each has nine counties that they're accountable for. And the person that is going to handle the southeastern part of District 6 and 7 is with us today, Ross Baker. Please say hello to Ross. Y'all make him feel welcome.
I also want to welcome you aboard. And we do know Busby, so he's a tough guy to work with and for.
Man, you build me up, you bring me right
I
back.
didn't bring you down. Tough in a good way. Okay. Approval of the minutes, previous meeting.
So move.
Moving
Second.
proper second. All those in favor, let it be known by the use of sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposes. Okay, motion is carried. Pre-construction, Mr. Lee.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lee.
Item number 2, authorize the executive director to execute supplemental agreement number 1, effective January 1st, 2024, to work assignment number 3 under the Quality Assurance Quality Control Services for Steel Fabrication and Coating Master Contract with KTA Tater Incorporated to continue to provide inspection-related services for the bridge repair and painting on Mississippi Highway 35 at Petacowa Creek on the listed project in Carroll County. The amount of the supplemental agreement will not exceed $3,765.13 for a revised total contract amount of $65,294.16. Number 3, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 1 under the underwater bridge inspection master contract with Volkert Incorporated to perform underwater bridge inspection services for 71 bridges on the listed project located in District 7. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $751,635.25. Number 4, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 1 under the underwater bridge inspection master contract with Consor Engineers, LLC, to perform underwater bridge inspection services for 86 bridges on the listed project located in District 6. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $821,683.23. Number 5, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 1 under the underwater bridge inspection master contract with Engineering Operations, LLC, to perform underwater bridge inspection services for 86 bridges on the listed project located in District 1. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $864,828.54. Number 6, authorize the executive director to advertise for indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity master contracts for well services statewide. Number 7, authorize the executive director to approve the listed utility agreements. Number 8, authorize the executive director to approve the listed preliminary engineering utility agreement. Number 9, authorize the executive director to execute quit claim deed conveying surplus right-of-way containing 0.014 acre in Hancock County on the listed project to Murphy Land Holdings, LLC, the adjoining property owner, in exchange for payment of payment in the amount of $40,194. Number 10, authorize the executive director to execute quit claim deed conveying an uneconomic remnant containing 0.05 acre located along State Route 76 in Etowah County to Danny and Connie Graham, adjoining property owners, in exchange for payment in the amount of $495. Item number 11, pass condemnation orders on the listed parcels. Item number 12, authorize the executive director to execute a replacement memorandum of agreement between the commission and the listed local public agency in order to establish the responsibilities for the development of the following project. Item number 13, upon receipt of all necessary documentation from the local public agency, request concurrence with the LPA, listed LPA recommendation to award the construction bid on the following projects.
Yeah, I should know.
Go ahead.
You have a question? Go ahead. Senator Caldwell, Commissioner Caldwell.
Well, I just didn't know if he was trying to take Ben's spot when the first three got read off as Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Edmond, Oklahoma, and Lacombe, Louisiana. But
No, sir. Although he doesn't have any agenda items today, there's no way that I could replace Ben.
okay.
Question, I should know the answer to this. When I thought about it when you was talking about the bridge projects, do we from time to time wash the bridges on our system?
No, sir.
With the rain today?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Intermodal planning, Jim? Morning.
Good morning, Jim.
Number 14, authorize the executive director to execute a memorandum of agreement between the commission and the listed local public agency in order to establish the responsibilities of the development of the following planning study. Number 15, ratify and authorize the executive director to approve facility space, meals, and associated costs for the agencies below to host regional coordination summits within their areas. The summits will be held on the dates and locations below within the region. The summits are co-sponsored by the department and the regional groups. MDOT's costs will not exceed $21,000. Number 16, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 3 under the Institute for Trade and Transportation Studies master contract with CPCS Transcom to provide the ITTS with an updated GIS information sharing platform that documents regional bottleneck issues across the Southeast region for 2019 to 2023 for the listed projects statewide. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $116,794.46. Number 17, authorize the executive director to execute a memorandum of understanding between the commission and the city of Gluckstadt, which will allow the city to install and maintain at their cost uninterruptible power supply battery backup systems at MDOT-owned and operated traffic signals in Gluckstadt. Number 18, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 2 under the Traffic Engineering Services Master Contract with RK&K to provide Phase B roadway and traffic engineering final construction plans for intersection improvements on US 49 at Salome Road and US 49 at State Route 149 for the listed project in Simpson County. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $121,833.98. Number 19, authorize the executive director to execute supplemental agreement number 1 to work assignment number 1 under the Traffic Engineering Services Master Contract with Kimley Horn to prepare and attend additional plan review meetings for the installation of cable barrier on I-22 in DeSoto and Marshall counties and on I-55 in Panola and Yalobusha counties for the listed projects. The amount of the supplemental agreement will not exceed $17,038.19 for a revised total contract amount of $589,395.49. Number 20, authorize the executive director to adopt amendments to the 2023 through 2026 statewide transportation improvement program.
Jim, if you would, just take a note on item number 15. Some of those entities that's in my area, I would just like for them to know that I would like to be invited to some of those fairs to
Yes, sir.
just kind of engage and see what they do.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Administrative Services, Barbara.
Good morning.
Pardon me. Okay.
Number 21, ratify and approve payment of the accounts payable in the amount of $45,170,566.19 for the periods of February 21st and February 28th of 2024. Number 22, approve the payroll docket for the period of February 16th through February 29th of 2024, not to exceed the sum of $5 million plus statutory withholding, state match, fringe, and employee authorized deductions. Number 23, ratify and approve the commissioners and executive director's salaries and expenses for an aggregate amount of $18,635.37 plus statutory withholding, state match, fringe, and employee authorized deductions for the periods of February 17th and February 24th of 2024. Number 24, authorize the Asset Management Division to execute documents to sell the following vehicles requested by the town of Summerall for a total price of $25,000 as recommended by District 6 and approved by the Bureau of Fleet Management. Number 25, pursuant to Mississippi Code Section 65-117, authorize the executive director to execute a lease agreement with Flagship Embroidery LLC out of Pascagoula, Mississippi, for the lease of office space beginning April 1st of 2024 through December 31st of 2027, with one automatic extension through December 31st of 2028 for $1,500 per month for the Southern District Commission. Number 26, authorize the executive director to execute agreements with Jason West Inc. out of North Point, Alabama for mowing and litter removal beginning April 1st of 2024 through March 31st of 2025, with the potential for 4 one-year automatic extensions through March 31st of 2029 for a contract total not to exceed the amounts listed below for the following locations in District 2. Number 27, authorize the executive director to execute an agreement with Barnes Lawn Service, Inc., out of West Mississippi for landscape maintenance services for the Holmes County Rest Area, which will begin March 1st of 2024 and run through March 1st of 2025, with the potential for 4 one-year automatic extensions through March 1st of 2029 for a contract total not to exceed $27,183 per year for District 3. Number 28, authorize the executive director to execute agreements with Jeffcoat Pest Control out of Bay Springs, Mississippi for pest control services beginning March 1st of 2024 through February 28th of 2029 for a contract total not to exceed the amounts listed below for the following locations in District 6. Number 29, ratify the following emergency purchases. Number 30, ratify the purchase from the following state contract. Number 31, request the authority to purchase a rollover simulator as a sole source from Ray's Body Shop, Inc. out of Whittle Falls, Minnesota for the amount of $44,200 for the Highway Safety Division. Ray's Body Shop is the sole manufacturer of this particular rollover simulator. The sole source purchase was approved by DFA. Number 32, request the authority to purchase various parts and accessories as sole source from Pile Dynamics out of Cleveland, Ohio for the Materials Division for the amount of $48,530. The parts and accessories will be used to upgrade the existing pile driving analyzer. Pile Dynamics is the only manufacturer of these parts and attachments and does not sell to any other distributors. This sole source purchase was approved by DFA. Number 33, request the authority to extend the following agency contracts for the period of April 1st through September 30th of 2024, pending DFA approval. And number 34, request the authority to award to the successful vendor on the bid received February 12th of 2024, and that is the agency contract for an asphalt analyzer.
I mean, then I'll request to you, Earl and or Brad, when we're getting ready to do many of the mowing contracts, in that contract includes a little pickup. Is there a way we can insist and make sure that the contractors pick up before they mow, so that they're not cutting the paper and stuff up, which makes it look real bad?
That is the standard practices for them before they mow.
Okay.
If someone's not doing it in that, we can make some adjustments or
Okay.
conversations, but that's the standard practice.
Okay,
There is a contractor that does it the opposite, and it creates a lot of problems for that 24 hours because they're pretty good about coming back. I guess the problem is they pick it up, they cut it, and by the time they cut it, it looks like they hadn't picked up because people littering. So they cut it, they sling trash everywhere, and then they come back and pick it up. They do a good job once they do that, but it creates some problems.
If you could pass along those, we're doing that,
Okay.
we can correct it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Got another
Right.
question. On 27, is that landscape maintenance services, that's for everything, the grass, mulch and all that stuff?
Yes, sir.
And that's a new company.
Yes, sir. Barnes.
Did the whole company get notified that they were losing the contract?
Yes, sir. And they did not provide a quote for the
Okay, thank you.
contract.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that brings us down to Lincoln. Dan,
Good morning.
good morning.
Morning.
35 is to rescind the commission order that approved a second amendment to the contract between the commission and Betty Mallett for projects in homes in Atala County. 36 is to authorize the executive director to execute a third amendment to the title contract with Matthew Harris that will add a project in Lee County with approximately 11 parcels. This amendment will also increase the maximum contract amount by $23,830, and the new overall contract amount will increase from $68,990 to $92,820, including expenses, and the project will take approximately 55 billable attorney hours and 22 billable paralegal hours. 37 is to authorize the executive director to execute a third amendment to the title contract between the commission and Betty Mallett for a project in Madison County that will consist of 9 parcels. This amendment will increase the maximum contract amount by $21,225. The new contract amount will increase from $25,000 to $46,225. The additional project will take approximately 50 billable attorney hours and 35 billable paralegal hours. 38 is to authorize the executive director to execute a third amendment to the title contract between the commission and Barry Zoronik. And this will add 2 projects, one in Atala County and the other in Holmes County. That will be 8 parcels total. The amendment will increase the contract amount by $23,450. The new contract amount will increase from $73,200 to $96,650 and will require approximately 55 billable attorney hours. 39 is to cancel the contracts for legal services between the commission and the law firm of Quintarius, Perito, Wood, and Boyer at the listed book and page number, effective immediately for the defenses of the following 2 cases on workers' compensation matters. 40 is to authorize the executive director to enter into the following contract for legal services between the commission and Amanda Alexander and her law firm for those same 2 workers' compensation matters. And that contract will go from February 27th, 2024 to August 31, 2026.
Okay. If you would stay around, we have guests or person who would like to present something to the commission. Mr. Porter. Mr. Porter is with Chickasaw Marshall Investment. We'd like to authorize him to address the commission and give you.
Commissioner, this is Mr. Bob Mabry, who is here on behalf of the Chickasaw.
Really bad.
Yeah, Amy, can we remind him that the microphone's on?
I don't know if there's a way to turn that down. I just wanted to let you know.
Oh, is it? I don't think mine is. I'm in a real quiet place. You think it is? Maybe I can mute it.
Maybe if you don't mind trying to do that, and then when you want to speak, just let us know.
I'm gonna mute it. Can you tell me if it makes any difference?
Okay.
Does that make any difference?
It
It
is.
absolutely did.
It's just some outside noise.
I'll mute it. Okay, fine.
Thank you.
We're going to recognize an old friend who I haven't seen in a long time, Bob Mabry. Bob,
Thank
you have about 5 minutes to say what you like to say to the commission.
I appreciate y'all hearing me this morning. We got I represent a client, Chickasaw Marshall Development, and they are wanting to develop a 400-acre spot in the southwest quadrant of I-269 and Goodman Road, or 302. Currently, there is no access in this area between the Behringer Road signal and the signal at the south ramps. It would be highly advantageous for this development particularly, but also I think for the traffic that would utilize this development once the development was completed. The various models I've run show that the traffic would operate very well in this area with that right in, right out that we're requesting. As you can see on your large scale map there, we show a right in, right out at that point. And on the permit map, it's a blown up area of what we're proposing as far as the deceleration lane and entrance. This would be very similar to the access point for Drury Inn on County Line Road. I don't know whether y'all are aware of that or not, but at one time that was a no access point for the interstate there. And because of that development, they did allow a right in, right out, and it has worked very well since it was in place. Also, if for some reason you cannot see your way clear of giving us a right in, right out, we would request at least a right in there to help alleviate some of the traffic going in and out. Any questions?
I'm going to recognize Dan to give what position the department is taking, and then there may be questions from the commission. Dan?
Commissioners, this request by Mr. Mabry on behalf of the Chickasaw Marshall Development has been considered by the district, and then it was appealed to the appeals committee established by the Access Management Manual. The manual was adopted by the commission in 2012, and the appeal process is contained in the manual, and that has been, they've been heard, the appeal has been evaluated, and the request has been denied by MDOT. The question as to Mr. Mabry's request for a write-in only, I do not know that that has been considered, but that could be resubmitted to the committee as a possibility, but there's no way to know how that was going to be evaluated at this point. The commission, pursuant to the adoption of the manual, has delegated the decision-making on this access request to MDOT. And there is no further appeal. The decision of the chair to allow Mr. Mabry to come and speak is a gracious act on the commission's part to hear what they say. Now, the commission could, if it chose to, could conduct its own investigation of this and of the MDOT decision. They could choose to affirm the decision of the department or they could simply let the decision of the department stand as is without any action at all, which is what I consider to be the best consideration of recommendation that I would make in this situation, is that you simply just let the action of the appeals committee stand without any action whatsoever. Be happy to answer any questions that you might have on that as well.
With that, then why don't we take questions from the commission, and then we'll.
First thing that jumped out at me was you said the write-in, write-out option was not considered by the committee or the appeals committee because the
Right in,
applicant.
right out was considered. But Mr. Mabry mentioned just now, just a write-in only. And I don't know that that was submitted. So the development could come back and resubmit a request for a write-in only. And that would just have to go through the same process.
Well, I'm fairly familiar with the site. A little less familiar with the development plan that's on the map here. While traffic to and from makes pretty good sense to have through the red light, when you start talking about emergency services, I'm not sure that another way in and out is not wise. I mean, that's a lot of traffic to have it's basically one way in, one way out. So, and you're saying our options are basically take no action, affirm it, or further investigate it.
You have that authority, but that would have to be done by a vote of the commission.
I mean, I don't want to give any false hope to the developer, but at the same time, wasn't there an access granted for that location at one time?
Not that I'm aware of. Well, to be clear, when the original 302 project was done, there was a crossover at that location. But when the right-of-way for I-269 came through, then that access point was purchased as part of the other right-of-way purchased from the owner at that time. So that access point that was actually there is no longer, it has been purchased. So therefore, all that access has been controlled by the department.
Mr. Porter, you got anything to add to what's been said?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is we desperately need the right in, right out. A right in would be better than nothing, but, you know, that's one of the, you know, prime pieces of commercial industrial property in the whole county, that location. And to have a 400-acre site like that with only one access point, Behringer Road, creates lots of issues. I think emergency vehicles are just one of many, but we desperately need that access. And I would greatly appreciate it if y'all could figure out a way to let us have it. Y'all know Marshall County is just getting ready to burst at the seams, and you know that's right in the nucleus of everything. And there's just going to be lots of you know potential commercial in there and residential and everything else. And we desperately need that additional access point.
I have one more
Sorry.
thing I'd like to say. On the northeast quadrant of what you're looking at there is the truck stop and location. And that's where a lot of the traffic will be coming and going from. And by allowing this right in, right out, it will save a lot of trucks as well as other automobiles coming back to the signal. So it'll relieve a lot of congestion at Behringer Road signal if we allow the right in, right out.
Dan, for clarity. you indicated that we, the commissioner, you recommended, as a matter of fact, that we stand down and take no action in a sense. And then you also indicated, based on what Mr. Mabry had said, that they could consider submitting a request application, whatever that process is, for a write-in. If we follow your recommendation and did nothing today, then that opens the door and allow them, if they desire to do so, to make the request for the
Yes,
write-in.
they could just make a new application and go through the process.
Any other question?
Just for my sake, I think there's I understand that what the policy manual says. I'm not sure we don't need to look at some adjustments to the policy manual in the not too distant future, but I don't know why we wouldn't have a final appeal that goes through the commission. I know a few appeals that I've witnessed, some of the same people that made the decision were also on the appeals committee, and so it makes it a little tight group that's in that decision-making process, and we might need to figure out a way to expand that.
Okay. That being said, then, Mr. Porter and Mr. Mabry, thank you all for coming before the commission, and thanks to the commissioner for allowing you to speak your opinion. And
Thank you all. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
all right. Before we vote on the agenda, I'd like to see if anyone has anything to add. Brad, Earl, Lisa, Commissioner King, I always want to know how's your money. Caldwell wants to know if you're making interest.
Wants to know if we can put that on paving in North Mississippi.
The answer to that was a no.
I knew that answer before I asked it.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not sure that I understand the issue that we just went through. I don't know that I understand why it was denied in the first place. Is there any way that we could possibly lay this on the table and take it up next commission meeting after I've had the opportunity to look at it? Now, that's unless both of you are united on what your vote is. If you're united on what your vote is, then it's not in my district and we'll do whatever you want to do. However, I don't know enough to vote intelligently on this.
Help me again, Dan. We didn't have it on the agenda for a vote, so it's not an action item that we're taking, but we wanted to hear, based upon the request from Mr. Parker and from Mr. Mabry, we wanted to hear from them because it had gone through the appeals process. And we opened up to just hear from them today. Dan has indicated and suggested that we don't take any action. So if we don't take any action, based upon the request to go back before the process and come in with another application, it still keeps it moving.
Okay.
Yeah. Did I say anything wrong, Dan?
When, Commissioner Busby, when you vote on this agenda, you're not voting on this particular thing.
Well, I will say I'm not real clear where our lines are drawn when it comes to our access manual and when we make exceptions and when we don't. Certainly understand the frustration of a developer that doesn't understand it as well. I mean, I've been overseeing some of this for 4 years, and I'm still seeing exceptions or things that are somewhat confusing. So I certainly empathize with developers that are buying land and making plans based on assumptions that turn out not to be true. And just the initial look at the thing and thinking of emergency services, I'm just not sure that we should draw a hard line on that one.
And again, as I understand it, and I'm not speaking for or against the decision, but the procedure that we have used in the past, we not being MDOT, has been going through the appeals process, and I don't know whether that's in statute or whether that's federal regulation or whether that's state regulation or who regulates. But we, the commission, has not been involved in the appeals process. We'll have to look at that and work with legal and Brad to see if there's changes we want to make in that category, if we can. Again, I don't know the answer to that question. I'm as confused as you and Busby on that, in that regard. So that's something that we'll have to address with Dan then. Again, am I correct or incorrect?
Obviously, if the commission wishes to direct the department to take another look at the access management manual, you're fully entitled to do so.
Commissioner,
But
if I may,
Should,
if I'm understanding Dan right, the commission has acted on the adoption of an access management policy and manual and
2012.
felt that it was in the interest that the appeals process be set up as it is. And so if the commission chooses to change that, you're looking at going back and rescinding that order and readdressing that whole policy and establishing an appeals process that brings everything ultimately back to the commission. And I would imagine one of the reasons it was drawn up to begin that way was to keep from filling up commission agendas with appeals, because everyone's going to take them as far as they can go. And it's also my understanding, though, Dan, that there is still an appeal availability here, that in accordance with some of maybe the federal rules or whatever, that they do have the option to request an administrative judge appointed by the Attorney General to review this and make a determination. I may have that as a wrong understanding, but somewhere along the lines, I've been told that there is that option that's still available that would not cause us to have to revamp a lot of policies internally.
I would have to look at that and get back to you as far as that particular aspect of it.
then why don't we just ask the staff, Brad, and legal counsel to, you heard the concerns of commissions, to just kind of review our structure in that regard. And not particularly on this particular case, but just review it for the process and the manner in which we're going to operate in the future. And then come with some suggestion or recommendation or an education to the commission so that we can look at it and decide whether we want to change what we have done in the past. But for this particular case, we have opened our doors as commissioners to hear from you, and we've heard you. And none of this discussion really has anything to do with you and your request. Is the procedure that we are discussing, and we'll deal with that internally going forward. However, Dan indicated that you do have the right to put in another application in order to get a write-in into your property or the client property that you are representing. So if you all desire to do that, then we'll encourage you to follow that process. And then we, the commissioners, will work with our legal team and our staff to address the operating procedure that we will utilize going forward. That makes any sense to you? All right. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Mr. Maverick. Again, thank you, Ms. Parker, Ms. Porter. Okay, before we vote on the agenda, I'd like to, we've done that already. Can I hear a motion for approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moving proper second that the agenda be approved. All those in favor, let it be known by you, the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposes? Ayes have, the motion is carried. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, moving proper second, we adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you all.